Roll for Crit here, and here's your news roundup for February 5th, 2018. Our first story, new set.
Yeah, check it out. Isn't it great? Bringing you the news and other videos from now on in style on this brand new set. Our second story of the week, though. Asmodee, the board game juggernaut, has acquired yet another company. This time it is Rebel, a Polish company that mostly deals in multi-translations of different versions of games that are released in different markets from other publishers. Many of them ones that are already under the Asmodee umbrella in some places, like Seven Wonders, Dixit, lots of Days of Wonder titles. But if you are in Poland, certainly you're going to probably notice this more. They're going to be more affected by that. All those titles are now part of the Asmodee umbrella officially. But I'd say this is probably one of the lesser acquisitions because they work together so closely already. It's not as huge as something like Z-Man in the past.
Well, this is also, I think, a much better acquisition for at least us, the customers, because as you said, it's more of a translation. So we're probably going to make it a lot easier for them to bring games across country lines, whether it was made in English initially, so for those not English speakers, or vice versa.
Yeah, either way, it is yet another step in Asmodee's eventual takeover of the planet.
Which is totally not a monopoly, though.
No, no, they don't have the rights to that.
Yet. Star Wars Destiny is getting another new release in Star Wars Destiny Legacies. This will be a new set with new booster packs, as well as 2 new starter sets, one focusing on Luke Skywalker, the other Boba Fett. If you haven't guessed from the title, this will actually stretch across the entire Star Wars universe.
Yeah, you've got stuff from the prequels, even stuff from Force Awakens. There's a card for Dr. Aphra, which is a character in the Star Wars comics that are currently running. My personal favorite, there's a Jar Jar Binks card in there. Ooh. There really is. It has a clumsy attribute that allows other players to force the person who's using that card to activate it on their turn.
Interesting.
There's some more things that happen from that, but I just thought it was kind of funny. Maybe the first time Jar Jar Binks has been acknowledged in a Star Wars board game since the Jar Jar Binks 3D adventure game.
Yes, in a board game, yeah. I think in comics he did.
Tabletop game of any kind. Yeah. We've seen him pop up here and there. That's available now. Star Wars Legion now has an official date from Fantasy Flight for March 22nd. This is the new Star Wars miniatures game that we got to try out a little bit at last year's Gen Con. And they have announced that there's a pre-order bonus. If you pre-order it through their website or some local gaming stores, you're going to be getting 5 beautiful posters of miniatures from the game. So there's sort of different scenes set up. We'll put up a picture of the minis set up and cool battle sequences and stuff like that. It is kind of it's kind of a nice bonus. There's going to be a lot of expansions for that game. So if you really love it and you really love the way those minis look, painted and all set up with their backgrounds, you might find somewhere to put those posters.
And definitely what I prefer in kind of pre-order bonus, something that isn't a gameplay mechanic or something that you will be left out of if you can't buy it, which is something particular and something that will be much pricier because it's very big with a lot of miniatures.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit of a nice touch for your sad wallet on that day.
The popular Arkham Horror card game is getting a new cycle and deluxe expansion in The Forgotten Age. In this expansion, you'll be exploring jungles and dense unknown areas with your explorers. And to do so, you'll be using a new mechanic known as exploring. To do this, you'll be using the activate action and pull from a separate deck, an exploration deck. This will have maybe location that you're looking for or other items, which definitely I think adds a good touch to the game mechanic and something you could use, which makes sense here in terms of a jungle where you might not know where you need to go exactly.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the game is about exploration already, so it makes sense to have a built-in mechanic tied to that. I also think the setting for this is really cool. It sounds like there's going to be kind of Aztec ruins and that kind of a thing, which is not something you see that often. You don't think of that, I don't think, first thing when you think of Lovecraft and Arkham Horror, but it makes perfect sense in that setting.
Well, once again, one of the reasons I love the card game is most of the ones that do, it's sort of zoomed out like Arkham Horror, or not Arkham Horror, Eldritch Horror, where it's sort of you just run across the globe. And Arkham Horror, or things about, usually focus on either Innsmouth or Arkham itself. So the card game, which I really like, does a better job at focusing on zooming in on a lot of different areas and really having fun there.
Yeah, gonna find some lost curses, some evil relics. Stuffed Fables is available now. This is the newest game from Plaid Hat Games and designer Jerry Hawthorne, who previously did Mice and Mystics. So if you like storytelling, adventure games, this one has an element of stuffed animals that come to life. Probably good for the whole family. You might want to check out Stuffed Fables.
In an interview with Rob Davio, we learned that Pandemic Legacy Season 3 is coming out, hopefully sometime in 2019. However, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah, it could get delayed, but hey, I guess they're going strong with these seasons. It's going to be the third one in a row, the first time that that's ever happened.
I can't wait for Pandemic Legacy Modern Warfare.
Same. Asmodee announced 3 new sets in the Unlock Escape Room series of games. We're going to get the No Side story, which involves the evil criminal Dr. No Side. You've also got Tombstone Express, which is a cool train robbery kind of a setting. And then you have a really interesting one, Adventures in the Land of Oz, based on The Wizard of Oz. So this is the first one that actually is going to be based on an existing license, which opens up a lot of potential cool doors for future Unlock games, maybe to use other public domain things like Sherlock Holmes or Lovecraft even. But even just Wizard of Oz, I think, is kind of a cool setting for an escape room that I'd never thought of before, but those 3 sets sound pretty cool.
Hopefully, you'll find the ruby slippers.
I hope so.
Sonic is racing into board games with a new board game from Shinobi 7, Sonic the Hedgehog Battle Racers. This will be a Kickstarter coming hopefully soonish?
Yeah, soonish.
And of course it is, as you can guess, a racing game involving your favorite characters from the series, Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Eggman, and Amy. Unfortunately, you'll not be able to use your custom character from the most recent Sonic video game.
And no Big the Cat. That's a real bummer for me. No Chows. I think this is kind of interesting that they decided to make it a racing game, which makes perfect sense when you think about it for Sonic, but my first thought would have been more like either a battle game or an adventure kind of a game with Sonic characters, but they do all run around a lot.
Well, that's actually probably the problem with Sonic. No one knows what he's actually supposed to do anymore.
Yeah, there's no Shadow version where you just shoot each other. Lots of things you could do with Sonic. Portal Games officially announced a new Robinson Crusoe Adventures on the Cursed Island expansion that we already knew was coming for later this year. It's officially being titled Robinson Crusoe Mystery Tales, and it includes the Lost City of Z campaign, which now has a sanity and horror mechanic, bringing it a little closer to some of those Lovecraft games that we enjoy, along with a bunch of other new beast cards and the like that you can mix into the base, including those horror and sanity mechanics. So if you thought the original Robinson Crusoe was not challenging enough, you can now also go insane in the game as you play it. Hopefully this hits. I'm hoping this hits for Gen Con, but it sounds like they were saying Q4 of this year.
Yeah, when we first reported on this a while ago, we were both very excited and glad to see it, and definitely going to try and check it out as soon as we can.
Yeah. That's your board game news roundup for this week. We'll see you next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave some comments down below.
Yeah.